Hey guys, good afternoon. How is everyone doing? Thank you for being at the show this morning and thank you for coming back because this is huge. This is huge. This is huge. Nicky Rule is missing. Discussing what has happened, and all of us together are going to work it out. Hello, Katrina. Hello, Kat. Hello, Aggie. Real Amanda 1234. By the way, I forgot to say on the community page or on the members live on Friday, we had two of them, to congratulate Real Amanda 1234 and Gaelic Girl for winning the drawings. Lone Wolf, hello. Mama K. Tammy Crimes, how are you? Uli Girl, Tea with Grandma Sherry, hello. What's up, Uli? Again. If I missed somebody, I apologize. I'm going to try to get through this show, keep it under an hour. I kept you guys for, I felt like a long time this morning. Magoo, what's up, girlfriend? Preschool Granny, how are you? I'll be Frank, hello. JD Butter, how you doing? Crime Time, hi. So I hope everyone's doing good. Of course, you all know when you hear me talk in Discord and in the Crime Lines and Lies Facebook group, I'm extremely upset about this case. Extremely upset. I'm upset that the police don't consider it a case when we know in families, things escalate very fast. So I'm going to go through some comments from the last show we had when Tally was on. It was an amazing show. Dolly Vision actually shared the interview on his show last night. So you can go check that out. By the way, I see some new names in here. So hit the sub button. That way when we go live, hit the reminder, you'll know. Hang on one second. All right, they're loading right now. I thought I already had them pulled up. Okay, I'm not buying it, said. What a terrible ordeal for the family. This bloody COVID malarkey has really not helped families. Too many children have suffered as a result of lockdown, and these civil servants who are in place to help blame COVID as an excuse to be lazy and not do their jobs properly. Funny how they could all manage to use Zoom for quizzes and training, but not to do work. My prayers are for Tally and Nicky. I absolutely love this comment, and I'm going to get to why in a little bit. D. Ham said, my faith in law enforcement and the legal system in this country is gone. Such a heartbreaking story. I pray Tally gets Nicky back quickly and safely. What a wonderful grandmother she is. So sad she has to deal with this on top of everything else she has gone through for those two precious babies. Agreed. Lulu said, I'm so upset at League City PD for not doing anything, yet they've always been that way. No excuse for it. Tally, I live close to you. I'm sharing this video and Nicky's flyer on all of my social media, praying hard for you. I can do anything else to help you. If I can do anything else to help you, just let me know. Robin said, sounds like Tally has been the backbone of the family for stability and love amongst the mental health issues. Tally has to be commended for carrying this family amongst the disruptions. In my opinion, law enforcement have a lot to answer to and have dropped the ball. With breaking and entering, physical attack on Joe, kidnapping, drugs involved, mental health issues, it's a mess. My heart and prayers go out to Tally and family in the hope a resolution will come soon. Absolutely. Absolutely. With no further ado, I'm going to bring up Tally and a good friend of this channel, Sleuth Mom. Hi, Tally.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Sleuth Mom is in here. She's coming on panel right now. Sleuth Mom, can you drop your link so everyone can sub to you? Hello, Sleuth Mom.
Hi, guys. How is everyone?
Good. And this is a wonderful idea. I love when collaborators, creators come together for the same cause. The same cause.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so important that we raise awareness for this little boy in this entire situation. It's just a devastating situation to even be in the first place. And so I hope we can do what we can to help you, Tally.
Thank you. Yeah, anything we can do to raise awareness and get Nicky's little face out there and get everybody watching for him.
Absolutely, we will. Absolutely. Hey, Chris, what's up, my friend? So, Tally, I hate to ask you this, but can you walk us through what happened Easter Sunday again? Because we have new people in here that want to help.
Well, to understand Easter Sunday, we had to go back to 3 years ago. 3 years ago, my estranged daughter, who left home with a 6-figure trust fund and had plans to go to Florida State University, ironically enough, to start their abnormal psychology program for criminal profiling with the FBI. She left home and just kind of vanished. And no one could explain where she'd gone or what was happening or why I couldn't reach her. Years passed. I got a call from her boyfriend letting me know that she'd had a child. Still no word from Robin herself.
Now, her boyfriend is Alec and Nikki's father, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Another year passed, and I got another call from the boyfriend letting me know that she'd had a second child.
And that would be Nikki.
And that would be Nikki. And that was really about all the contact that I'd had. And then 3 years ago, out of nowhere, I got a call from Robin saying, "Mom, I'm in trouble. I need help. Can I come home?" And I said, "Robin, you can always come home." She arrived at my door, and she was unrecognizable. She smelled like she hadn't bathed since the last time I'd seen her 5 years before. She doubled her weight. She was slovenly. She was talking absolute nonsense, reminding me of things that included me that had never happened.
Like what?
Well, she had apparently told Joe, who was Conor's mother, that she'd never had a Christmas, that I was Wiccan and made the children dance naked in the yard, and just really off the wall things.
What did Joe do with this information? Because I've got some questions for Joe.
She just let me know all of the terrible things that Robin had said and done. And all the way back to her claim that Robin had told her that she couldn't bathe because she was allergic to water. When they moved to Washington, they had to drive with the windows down because she smelled so bad they couldn't even bear to be in the car with them. They had to rent a whole separate hotel room because they couldn't be in the room with her. The odor was so atrocious. So when they arrived at my door, it was Conor and Robin, and I saw the condition that my grandchildren were in. And they looked like they had come straight from a concentration camp. Nikki was 12 months of age and weighed less than 10 pounds.
Oh.
Alec was 24 months of age and he weighed 12 pounds.
What did the doctors say?
Both of their heads were malformed. When we went to the pediatrician, they said they had not been given calcium. When I had asked Robin why they were giving them Kool-Aid and not formula, I was informed by Robin and Conor that they didn't like milk. So due to the lack of calcium they had been given as infants, neither of their soft spots had ever hardened into bone. They had simply grown with their heads and begun to cave in the center because the soft spot in a baby's head is not designed to support that kind of size.
No.
The pressure of his skull against his little brain was causing Nikki to have seizures. Alec was in even worse condition because he had suffered that level of neglect an additional year. The first call that I made was to Child Protective Services to get them involved and see the condition of these children.
Now, from that initial phone call, where did Conor and Robin go?
Well, when Child Protective Services came out, they did about a 5-minute interview with Robin, and the woman came back to where I was, and she said, "Oh my God, we need a psychiatric evaluation on her." And she told Robin as much. I told Robin she was not to remove the children from my care and that they were going to insist on a psychiatric evaluation. So that night at 3 a.m., I was awoken by Robin, who let me know that she had thought about what the Child Protective Services woman had said, and she had come to the realization that she was right, and she needed help, and there was something very wrong with her. And I hugged my daughter, and I said, "Please, honey, please get help, because this is not you. You need help." And she and Conor left that night. I have never seen or heard from my daughter again.
Did your daughter have any signs of mental illness before she left for Florida?
Absolutely none. Robin was an A/B student all the way through school. She tutored. She was active with the family. She and I were so close.
Mm-hmm.
We talked all the time about everything. Even when she started questioning her sexuality, we sat down together. Okay, so what are we thinking? Just an open dialogue had always been there. She had no history of substance abuse. She was not any kind of a problem teen. Nothing. Not one behavioral issue ever. As a matter of fact, I used to tell her if I could have computer programmed a daughter, I could not have made one more perfect than you are.
Oh.
Wow.
So
devastating to hear, like, how much she changed in such a short period of time. Do you think that she got on drugs, or what do you think caused the change?
I have asked that question of everyone that I have ever come into contact with. Something happened, obviously something, but there's no telling what it was.
If you
Conor
haven't
confirmed she was using whippets, I
Okay.
guess, which is the inhalation of nitrous oxide. It's the same kind of thing that is used in the dental office when they're going to be doing big surgeries. And I guess once she started doing that, the next thing she was drinking like entire fifths of vodka in a day. And I don't smoke. I've never used any kind of drugs in my life, and I maybe drink 3 glasses of wine a year. So it's not like she grew up in an atmosphere where that was normal behavior. So I don't know.
Just going to throw this out there. The whippets alone could have altered her brain. Anytime that you're inhaling or huffing stuff, that results in almost immediate brain damage.
Right. And from what I've been informed of by Conor, she had it in cases. Cases.
All right, I'm going to address this comment real quick. Dakota63, welcome. Make sure you hit the sub button. It's crazy how they can hurry up and put out a stolen alert on a car, but they can't a child. Now, we're going to talk about that. I'm very upset about this case because just like with the Sophie Long case, when it's a family member, they act like it's something the family can work out, but it doesn't work that way. Right, Tally?
Absolutely. So with that background, I've never seen or heard from Robin again. Now, the children have had to undergo early childhood intervention, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. Nicky was able to make a full recovery. Alec was not as lucky. He was left with nonverbal stage 2 autism and developmental delay. He now goes to school half day in a special needs program. And he has come so far from where he started. But he still has a very long way to go. And his struggle will be lifelong.
Okay.
A year and a half ago, my half-sister, she and I were raised separately, arrived at my door following the death of our mother and said, we're all the family that's left, and can I please be a part of your family? And I thought that that would be wonderful to have family involved. I'm a single mom. I have built a good life for myself, but it would be wonderful to have another adult in the family to help and be a part of the kids' lives.
Of course, sisterhood. They have an aunt to spoil them, of course.
Exactly. What I did not realize, and no one in the family had let me know, was that she had psych issues. I had spent a few days with her here and there, a week, when she was at my mother's house and that kind of thing, but not really enough time with her to realize that she wasn't quite right. We knew that she'd had multiple kind of back alley pregnancy terminations over the years and had left herself sterilized as a result.
Mhm.
When she started being a part of our family, she got really overly attached to Nicky. And then it was little things. She'd pick Nicky up and he'd be squirming to get down and she wouldn't let him down until I finally had to step in and say something. And then she'd say things like, wouldn't it just be wonderful if he were really mine? And I started having to tell her, but he's my grandson and you're his great aunt. You are in his life. You have a role in his life that needs to be good enough. Over time, it had gotten bad enough that I had removed her from the kids' pickup list and really started limiting the amount of time that she was allowed to be around Nicky. One evening, she called and kind of harassed me for about 2 weeks for an overnight stay. And I let her know that's fine. We'll do an overnight stay with Nicky, but I'll be there at 8 a.m. to pick him up. And that night I got a call from the police department saying that she'd been stopped. She was swerving all over the road. Another motorist had called in. When police arrived on scene, she was drunk. They suspected she was on some kind of substance. And she was being arrested for DUI. Nicky was in the car, not even in his car seat. So she was taken into custody and I brought Nicky home. She bonded out. I'm not sure who signed her bond because I certainly know it was not myself, and arrived at my door that night to let me know she was going to have to flee the state of Texas because of this felony and demanding that I give her Nicky like he's nothing more than a party gift. And I told her then, get away from me and get away from my family.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me that she felt it was appropriate to take a young child on the run with her, even to show like her state of mind. Like she has no sense of what's right and what's wrong.
Right. Absolutely none. She has apparently survived her entire adult life, stealing, frauding. We did a full background check recently and found out she has multiple identity theft, fraud charges, multiple warrants in multiple states, including the DUI. So when she left my house, as we were able to learn with our own investigation, she started planning to find Robin and come for Nicky. And this was a very well thought out plan, step by step, that has been ongoing at least since last September. So we've got family that let me know after Easter that she had blown up a bunch of people's cell phones, accusing them of being in contact with me, making claims like I was the only thing standing between her and her boy. So Easter came around.
Hang on, her and her boy?
Yes.
Okay, so she's crazy.
Yes. So Easter came around, and as we always do, I put together a huge Easter for the children. We had a big Easter dinner and an Easter egg hunt that morning. I was laughing at my two oldest children that are in the house as they're walking around, and my 19-year-old daughter and my 13-year-old son, who's 5'8" and 220 pounds, walking around with Easter baskets full of eggs to hide for the children. We had a great morning, and Nicky had eaten his chocolate Easter bunny and laid down on the couch and kind of conked out. We had, I needed to make a quick run to the hardware store. Joe, who was the baby's paternal grandmother, was here, and I left to go to the hardware store. Within 5 minutes of my pulling out of the driveway, Robin and Tony forced their way into my home and grabbed Nicky, his paternal
How
grandmother.
did they get in?
They just stormed in the door. Usually I have a huge lock on the top of my door because Alec has his autism means that he's at risk to wander. But because it was Easter, we hadn't locked it. The kids had been in and out with their Easter eggs. So we hadn't locked the big lock on the top of the door. Any other day it would have been. That day they just stormed through the door. They saw Nicky laying on the couch and Tony reached for him. And that's when Joe realized what was happening. And she came running from the kitchen. It's an open floor plan, so it's all one room. And they attacked her, started punching her hand and arm as she's trying to reach for Nicky. She ended up with bruising on her left hand and arm and her right rib cage. She chased them outside, and they dropped Nicky headfirst on the cement drive. And Joe thought they'd broke his neck from the angle that he hit the ground. They hurled him into this car and disappeared. But right before they left, Robin looked back and Joe recognized her finally. And she just started screaming, "Robin, my God, what are you doing? Give him back." And they disappeared.
Okay, this is Robin and Tony on the screen right now. They're not going to look the exact way they do in this picture. Okay? But that is them.
I wanted to ask about that picture, actually. Do we know how long ago that was taken? Like how much their appearances may have changed since that point?
That picture was taken approximately 6 months ago.
Okay.
Their appearance has not changed much, except Joe did say that Tony had dyed her hair dark the day they took Nicky.
Okay, so she may not be blonde any longer.
Correct. And Joe said, as far as Robin, she said it was like looking animatronic. There was just no life in her face at all. Even when Nicky hit the ground, she never flinched. Just absolutely no show of emotion.
And he couldn't have recognized her.
No, he hasn't seen Robin since he was 12 months old.
He couldn't have recognized her. The most important face that we need to look at right now on the screen is Nicky. But we also need to look for Tony and Robin. They were sighted in Melbourne, Florida over the weekend. I'm hopping ahead. I just want to let everyone that's in the Florida area, I just want to let them know.
Yes, on Saturday evening, someone who recognized Nicky from the Facebook posts had been watching and saw Tony was trying to steal stuff from the Goodwill there in Melbourne. And that, bless her heart, that woman then engaged in a high-speed pursuit, trying to keep their vehicle in view while she called police. Police arrived on scene. Tony gave a false identification that did not bring up her warrants. The police in League City had not been made aware by Child Protective Services that there is an order on Nicky that he is to be immediately removed from them if he is found. And Child Protective Services is then to take over him. So when the woman was yelling that this was Nicky, this was the missing little boy, and Tony and William Fisher, according to this witness, were tweaking really badly. Nicky has bruising to his head where he landed, but new bruising to his face as well.
Now I want to talk about that. That sounds like that does not sound like the injury at your house, my friend. That sounds like he's
No.
being abused by them.
Yes.
Because he's fighting back. Where's my Mimi? Where's my
Yes.
house? Where's my brother?
Exactly.
They have to find him ASAP. Now I want to know, and I know we don't have the answers here. Why, when they came, because I'm looking at your message right now that you sent me on Saturday. Someone who recognized Nicky when Tony was trying to steal from the Goodwill, which who steals from the Goodwill? They did not realize the name Tony gave was fake. So
Right.
it didn't pull up her warrants.
Correct.
They also didn't realize Nicky was on an immediate seizure list. This is very important. This is very important.
Right. They did realize that the plates on the car were actually Texas tags that were not registered to that vehicle. The officer made them switch the tags out back to the Florida tags, which means that lasted until they were out of sight.
Right.
And they made them wait on scene while they called emergency services to examine Nicky. He was bad enough that they felt they needed to get emergency services to look at him. They fed him, and they determined that since Robin was not obviously under substances, they went ahead and released them. When I contacted that police department to find out why on earth would they have let these people leave with this child, he said, "It's okay. I notified CPS. They'll be out there within the next 24 hours. And I said, "They'll be gone before the next 24 hours.
They'll be gone."
So the detective let me know that Tony Fisher does not have any warrants out. And I said, "No, but Tony Marriott, who is who you had, does." And he typed her information into his little magic cop computer and came back with, "Oh." I said, "Yeah. Oh." And now they can't find them.
I just want to jump in real quick and say this is where the red tape of the law is so frustrating, because we see cases like this where, the cops turn it over to CPS rather than helping the child in the moment. The same thing happened in Ariel Sellers' case. The same thing happened in Serenity McKinney's case. The same thing happened in Harmony Montgomery's case. I mean, this is case after case where we see cops come in contact with these children who are being abused or hurt. And rather than immediately helping them, they forward it to CPS instead.
Right.
And then the investigation either happens or doesn't. But what happens in most cases is the children continue to get harmed and are put in danger. Unfortunately, and Tally, I'm not trying to scare you, but those 3 children that I just named are either missing or deceased. And so we need Nicky found immediately.
We need Nicky found immediately. Oakley Carlson, Summer Wells. There's too much of this going on, and I'm a firm believer that CPS should never be involved. It's on the parents. Unfortunately, we can't trust the parents. We can't in some cases. Now, when the police officer came across Nicky, Robin is not high as a kite. She says she's the mother. They can't mess with that. Again, what you're saying is right, Sleuth Mom. It's red tape. Robin is the biological mother. That's why I want to get this petition going. It's going to have to start in Texas because that's where he was kidnapped from. And I'm sorry, guys, I don't mean to trigger you. He was kidnapped. Forget that it was his mother.
That woman was no more familiar to him than any person he would see on the street.
Yeah.
She left him to starve 3 years ago and walked away and never looked back.
So they change tags out, which means that they are cognitive. Okay, they know what they know what they're doing. I mean, they are smart enough to know they have committed a crime. You wouldn't switch tags, which, by the way, is a crime.
Right.
So we got a big problem. We got a
Yeah,
big problem.
I mean, it was a crime, but like they would have just given them a ticket and sent them on their way for that. And so that's frustrating in itself because these are people who have already run from crimes and from warrants and stuff like that. And so that's just one more state that they're going to flee likely
Right.
because now they know they're found there. So where are they going to head next? Are they going to stay in that direct area? What address did they send CPS to? And has CPS made contact? Do you know, Tally?
They gave them a local hotel, but they did not return because Officer Neal, who was the one who was there and also the one that I spoke with, once he realized that the person that he had let go actually has multiple warrants in multiple states, including Florida, he went and tried to find them. But of course, they never returned to that hotel.
Of course they didn't. Do we know what hotel they were staying at?
No, he didn't give me any details. I think for fear that I would end up in there tearing down every room, which I would.
Yeah, you would. I know you would. And I certainly wouldn't blame you. Guys, let's give some love to Tally right now in the chat. We have 128 people in here and only a few people commenting. Put a heart up, anything. And if you see a bruise on a child, I agree with Betty Jo. If you see a bruise on a child, they need to be taken to the hospital.
Yes.
And sorted out there.
Now, the story that they gave the officers who asked about the bruising to Nicky was that he had a sty, which is an infection in the eye that he had been rubbing, and that's why his cheek and eye were black and blue. The officer admitted that he found that very difficult to believe, which was the reason for the referral, that and the fact that 2 of the 3 adults were obviously high as a kite, but did not remove Nicky. So when I informed him that he is on a Child Protective Services watch list, that he is to be taken immediately if he is found, I got another, oh, I'll find him.
So why is that list not like national? Like that should be popping up like an APB does in the police computers. You know what I mean?
I guess it doesn't pop up on the police computers. It pops up only on the CPS computers.
That's ridiculous.
I completely agree.
We are doing wrong by our children in so many ways in this country. Sorry. It's just frustrating. And I can't imagine what you guys are going through as a family with them being gone.
It's been going on for decades.
I have lived my entire adult life within the system. I did not realize that the system could fail so spectacularly. It is not like Nicky does not have somewhere to go. It's not like they don't have anywhere to place him. Nicky has a home. He has a Mimi who has loved him every day for 3 years, who has held him and taken care of him and built him up into this wonderful, sweet little boy that he is. He is not some child that's going to be swallowed by the system. He is Nicky.
Now, Tally, has your lawyer made any more traction on getting you rightfully the custody holder of Nicky so that you can get the Amber Alert and such issued?
Initially, we had a little hiccup in switching attorneys. Clearly, the original one, boy, did she ever drop the ball. Nicky's custody case was filed a year ago and has been sitting there. That attorney's reasoning was she was waiting for Robin to be found, even though I have told her multiple times, we are not going to find Robin. We do not know where Robin is. So we had to switch attorneys. Charles Van Orton is the new attorney that is handling their custody case. And he's trying to get, or I'm trying to get the original records from their pediatrician that shows step by step where we had to have Alec treated for worms, scabies, head lice, their weights, their measurements, and all of that, so that there is no chance that the judge misses any part of this picture.
Exactly. There is a rumor going around. If you can address it, you can address it. If you can't, you can't. Or just say it's not true, that the father is now getting involved.
Yes, I was given notice today by the police that the baby's father, who has seen them 3 times in the last 3 years, has petitioned the court as demanding that I turn Alec over to him and his new wife. So I have already reached out to my attorney, and I will be going in front of the judge in the next few days on that situation. I'm hoping if he can give a ruling on Alec without Robin being present, that we can get a ruling on Nicky at the same time. If we can, then I would be able to take it to the police and get that Amber Alert.
And that's what we want. Or even just
Now-
is he on the missing and exploited list yet? Because I can't find him.
He's listed on the NCIC. I'm not sure about anything else.
Now, is Conor petitioning for custody of just Alec, or is he petitioning for Alec and Nicky?
The only thing the officers said was that he is trying to take Alec with him back to Washington. I have not been served the paperwork yet to know the details on that. I was just given the heads up.
Do you know if he has been in contact with Robin at all?
According to him, he has not.
And then I know you said most of your family is pretty much gone besides them, but has anyone else that you guys know heard from Robin or your sister?
When Robin disappeared out of our lives, she disappeared out of the lives of everyone who had ever known her. Her father, my first husband, was killed in a car accident when Robin was an infant. She cut all of them out of her life, all of her friends that she had known for years and years, everyone. So she just, completely vanished off the earth. No one could give us any answers. As far as Tony, we do have some distant relatives that have begun speaking out, and kind of the same thing, just trying to talk some sense into Tony, reminding her, basic things like you can't raise a child on the run, hopping from hotel room to hotel room with the police right behind you. What kind of a life is that for a child to have? Tony's been in and out of rehab facilities from the age of 12. Her drug addiction goes back the majority of her life.
So there are people, though, that are like trying to talk sense into her, that have gotten a hold of her?
No, no one can get a hold of her.
Oh, okay. They're just like
posting
reaching
on
out.
the Facebook pages and everywhere else. Just making
Okay, that makes sense. That makes more sense.
All right, I'm going to read this comment real quick. My son is in Nicky's class. He doesn't know why Nicky hasn't been to daycare, but misses him. I have been praying for Nicky, Tally, and Joe and her son since Easter. My whole family is so worried. Thank you for that. Because Tally needs all the support she can get. Tally is the backbone of the family, and she needs all the support she can get. As far as the father and Joe, I'm not going to throw any eggs in that basket. No pun intended.
That seems to be what a couple people in the chat are asking about, is if Joe is in support of her son getting the kids, or if she's in support of Tally. And I honestly don't know the answer to that. I'm not sure if you do either at this point, Tally.
That is one thing Joe has not spoken with me about. Conor arrived on my door unannounced yesterday afternoon. Joe had not even mentioned to me that he was on his way. She and I have been in close contact in this search for Nicky. Since he lives in her house, I'm going to assume that she was aware he was headed here, but no, I was not informed. And it's not a fight that I'm willing to start with Joe. I know she doesn't like that that her son does not have his sons. However, he made the decision to walk away when Robin did.
Exactly. And I understand her disappointment in her son, and that social media is not behind her. I get that. I mean, I've seen the comments. I've seen what people are saying. It's really not a time to pick up the banner for your son.
Right. This is not about Robin, and this is not about Conor, and this is not about any decisions that they have made. This is about Nicky.
Yeah, that makes sense. Gosh, Tally, I just want to continue to like extend my prayers for your family and my good thoughts. You know, I hope that this can end quickly, and that they didn't flee Melbourne. Like, I am terrified that this cop just let them go with no concrete address, just a hotel. You know, they could be anywhere all over again.
Yes, exactly. The best
My
hope that we
thoughts
have
are-
is poverty will keep them from being able to go far. How much money can you have if you're trying to shoplift from the Goodwill?
Exactly, and they're shoplifting to the Goodwill because they're gonna sell those things, and how they even got there, lived, and had the money to go back. They've got help there, so we're gonna have some accomplices here. I gotta see this comment from Janice. She said, "I just Googled Nicky. Says due to guardianship can't be on Amber Alert. Is that correct?" It is correct. It is correct. So we're getting the petition going right now. It will not be blasted out until Tally approves it. Because whether it's in a family or not, Amber Alert should be considered for children.
Oh, absolutely. How many children die every day due to neglect or abuse at the hands of parents that are not fit?
We talk about it every day on this channel. Every day. It never ends. Charlotte says, why is the son stepping up now?
That is a terrific question.
I've got my opinion. He sees a lot of attention, and he sees a GoFundMe.
Yeah. To date, he's been to see the children 3 times in 3 years. That's the extent of it. He was in that room when my grandchildren lay starving, and he walked away 3 years ago.
Babies not drinking formula or eating baby food. They were drinking Kool-Aid. So he was right there.
Yes.
Lisa said there should have been an APB or BOLO or whatever in Florida. They should have dug deeper seeing that child. That was all in Texas. It didn't carry over state lines because there's no Amber Alert.
Correct.
They couldn't have found the information. They couldn't have. So the main focus is if you're in the Melbourne, Florida area, to look for Nicky, Tony, Robin. I don't have a picture of Bill. I don't. Authorities have got to be contacted the minute you see him. The problem is now they're going to get more nervous. I don't know about Robin so much, but Tony's going to get more nervous and more anxious. She knows the heat's on.
Right. Yes. And we know that they are not above stealing license plates off of other vehicles to remain hidden, which means that the license plate that we have is not going to be of any use in tracking them. The best hope that we have is that someone will recognize Nicky.
Which happened over the weekend. But the authorities in Florida did not realize what was going on. Court cases. How did CPS not press charges on them? CPS was called. They usually have a 24-hour window unless there's an immediate placement by the police, and CPS can't press charges because they're not law enforcement.
And originally, CPS was talking about pressing charges for criminal child neglect. When Robin and Conor fled the state of Texas, they let that go. CPS's view on it was, now the children were in my care, now they were safe. They didn't feel that there was anything more that needed to be done.
Right. So they let sleeping dogs lie. You're taking care of the children, and there's nothing for them to do because there's other kids that need help.
Exactly.
I mean, but your first lawyer, man, I tell you what, she dropped the ball.
In a very, very big way. And not having ever gone through a custody matter like this before, I didn't recognize that there were things that she should have been doing that were not being done. It actually was not until Nicky was taken, I couldn't reach her, and I reached out to my old divorce attorney who handled my divorce case, and she was just screaming, and she said, "Oh my God, Tally, this should have been done, and this should have been done," and gave me a list of what should have been done. And that's when I realized I was going to have to get new counsel. And that's when we switched over to Charles Van Orton.
Who, by the way, seems a lot more aggressive than your last attorney. Court says, I mean, back when Tally first got them. So when you contacted CPS when the babies came to you, and they were babies at the time.
Yes.
Why did CPS not make a recommendation to the courts for criminal charges against Conor and Robin?
Well, that was the initial intention. But when they left the state of Texas, basically they didn't feel that it was worth fighting across multiple states. Since the babies were safe in my care, they just let it go.
That's disgusting, though, because they should have continued to file the TPR against them.
Oh,
like
absolutely.
The laziness of this agency fails so many children. Their rights should have been abolished with all of this way back then.
Yes. Yes, without a doubt.
But you have all the medical documentation.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
That's one good thing about being a nurse is that I keep all documentation. So I have all of their MRI reports and all of their ECI reports and all of the EEGs that had to be done. I've got all their documentation.
Charlotte said, do we need to raise money to pay for a lawyer or a private investigator? Yes, there is a GoFundMe right now. If you can spare $1, $2, $5, whatever you can do. Yeah, we put that in there. I don't do fundraising on this channel for a lot of reasons. But in this case, I do encourage you, if you can put some money in the GoFundMe, it needs to be done. It takes money to fight the system. I'm sorry, it does.
My new attorney was $7,500 retainer. And that's just to get this case started.
Oh, wow.
But I will pull every dime that I have out of every investment company that I have ever used to get Nicky home safe. Money is replaceable.
You can make more money. You can't make more kids, right?
Exactly.
More memories. How are your other children handling this?
The first few days, Alec was confused. He kept walking around the house, and of course he's nonverbal, but if you pay attention, he communicates with body language. So he kept walking around the house and then walking up to me and shrugging. And when I tucked him in at night, he kept sitting up and looking over at Nicky's empty bed. But about 3 days in, he got back to normal, his normal behaviors. My 7-year-old son is afraid to be on the couch anymore. He's only 3 years older than Nicky. And he's afraid that someone's going to come and take him next.
What do they think about your children, not your grandchildren? What do your children think about their siblings?
Well, Robin, my oldest son is 13, and he was only 5 when Robin left home. So he really does not have any memories of Robin. And my younger son, obviously he does not have any memories of Robin either. My daughter, my 19-year-old daughter, would love to strangle Robin. She's the only one that really has any memories of her. And she is so disgusted. She's been on TikTok making TikTok videos to keep everyone updated on what's going on with Nicky and who Robin is.
I've seen those. She's been doing an amazing job getting the word out using TikTok. A lot of people have been sharing those videos. Please keep pushing her to keep doing it until we get him found, because it's making a difference.
Amazing job. Amy said, I would hope that there was a law school student that can volunteer their services. Now, we've discussed this in other cases and checked on it. To go in front of a judge, you have to pass the bar. If not, all you can do is give legal advice. So she has to have an attorney that can go into court.
And Charles Van Orton, he's not cheap by any means, but he sat as a family court judge for many years. And before he went into private practice, and there's not anybody better.
I will add into that too, though. If there is a private investigator out there that would like to donate their services to this family, that would be awesome. Please, please, please reach out to Tally.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So what's the next step, Tally? What has your attorney said? I mean, I know you said the police have been very apologetic to you when we talked earlier.
Yes, they let me know that they're all standing behind me. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Too little, too late. Too little, too late.
Great, but it's good to know you're behind me in spirit there, officer. So at this point, we're getting the actual office notes from the original pediatrician, and then we will take all of our documentation into the judge and try to get temporary orders. That was the original plan. Then today, with me being notified that Conor has popped back up and is demanding that Alec be handed over, we may be going in front of the judge before then. If whatever he has filed includes Nicky, with any luck, we can get those emergency orders extended to Nicky. And if so, then I can take that to the police department and say, okay, here's the paperwork. Now go find him.
I'm really just amazed that Conor is just out of nowhere popping up to do this. Especially at the beginning of this, it seemed as if you guys were all one accord. Joe and you had both responded back to me in Messenger originally. And yes. I really thought that, you guys were all going to be working together in this. So now this is kind of like a little twist to have them pursuing custody on the side now.
Yes. Well, that did not surprise me, because I knew when he got served the custody papers that he was going to panic, which is why we had tried to get him to do a waiver initially so that he did not have to be formally served. But when he was served those custody papers, I was informed, he's not going to sign them because he doesn't want to lose his sons. So the sons that he's seen 3 times in 3 years, one of which is literally missing, he won't help with their custody because he doesn't want to lose them. Okay, that
is he concerned that you would stop allowing him to see them?
I've never one time refused to allow him or his mother to come and see them. I think it's very important for them to have as many of their family members in their life as possible. They come down and it's kind of a weird situation all around, but we grin and bear it and make the best of it, because I feel very strongly that it's what's best for the boys. I think that they need to know as many of their family members as is willing to come in and learn who they are.
Now, does Conor have a history of drug abuse or anything like that in his
Not that
background?
I'm aware of. Conor has had some learning difficulty when he was younger, and it's something that really does show even to this day. So I'm not sure about drug use, but there's definitely some issues of his own.
Well, neither your daughter, and I hate to talk about your daughter this way, neither your daughter or Conor are equipped to take care of children, period. They can't take care of themselves. Guys, if you look on here, I put the link up for John Walsh Official on Facebook. They do answer messages. They do. So please share this video or the poster. I'll put the poster up right now. You can take a screenshot right now and share that, because John Walsh does not care if it's family custody issues. And it's not a custody issue. It's not. And that's where the lines are skewed.
Exactly. A custody issue is a dispute about who should raise a child. Nicky's case is a dispute about whether or not he lives through his childhood.
Charlotte, she said, I have not ever donated to one on here on YouTube for many reasons. It's a case I believe and trust. I will donate. Lord bless this baby. Love from South Mississippi. You guys all know that I never get on here and fundraise. I never do it. Never. For a lot of reasons. And like I said, $1, $2, $5. Don't put off your bills. But this is really important. Do we have the link for the GoFundMe? Because I have it in text. That won't transfer right.
I got it. 1 second here.
Thank you.
It's only at $860 right now. Out of, the $25,000 goal that you had set, but I'm sure that a lot of that. You want to explain why you initially set up the GoFundMe?
Well, initially we were hoping to appeal to Tony's greed. Tony has made an entire lifetime of stealing from other people. She's never held an actual job in her entire life. She's 50 years of age. I was hoping, as horrible as it may sound, that we could buy him home. When that did not yield any results, that money has been getting put toward his legal funds to try and get this pushed through as fast as we possibly can, to get that Amber Alert, to get the police, when he is spotted again, for them to say, yes, there is an Amber Alert on this little boy. Get him home safe. And Nicky, in his entire life, has never met a stranger. He tells everybody he sees at the grocery store or anywhere out in public, as soon as he sees a person, he'll smile and wave and say, hi, I'm Nicky. And I just keep hoping to God that he's going to say it to somebody who's going to say, that's that little boy.
I'm so sorry. I wish that there was more that we could do to help. Everyone watching this, though, as a community, what we can do is share this flyer, share out her video or other videos that Tally has been on interviewing, videos about Nicky. Share it to every social media platform that you have. Hitting the like button, makes a huge difference. 130 of you watching, only 98 likes. Like, let's get that up there because it boosts the video in the algorithm. And then another huge thing that makes the difference is even commenting, even if it's just prayer hands, a heart, whatever it is, comment on the stream once it's finished. Because again, it helps propel the video into the algorithm so that people that are just scrolling by can see Nikki's face, can see this case, and can understand. We're always just one person seeing a story away from somebody getting found. And so Nikki needs found, you guys. This is urgent. I can't stress how urgent this is.
Cracker?
All right, Tally, I just put some money in the GoFundMe, and we're going to keep sharing and sharing and sharing. I did on Friday, and I just did again today. And we're going to keep sharing and sharing and sharing until we get your baby back, okay?
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's just not going to be easy.
I will walk through fire for that child. I don't care about Izzy. I just care about Nikki being home.
Yeah, solo MCFC, it's definitely worth sharing with other creators. You're exactly right. The more people talking about this, the better. And that's kind of why I reached out to Brooks about coming on to do this together, because if we can combine our audiences to make this video get bigger than what it typically would if we were just solo. Unfortunately, some names bring big audiences, but other names, it goes under the radar a little bit. And sadly, that's what's been happening with Nikki's case so far. It's been flying under the radar for the most part. And so we're trying to boost this. We need to get his face out there absolutely everywhere.
Tally, you'll see on the GoFundMe, it says anonymous. I didn't put my name on there. So you'll see it here in a second.
Thank you.
Because we'll do anything we can to support you. Do you have any updates on when the next court hearing is going to be? Have you heard from your attorney today?
I have not heard from my attorney yet today. He's supposed to be calling me before the end of the day, so any time now. I'll have to give him the update of my notification that we're going to have to be going in front of the judge in the next few days, is what the police informed me. So they'll need to be ready, and hopefully at that time we can make the plea for custody not only on Alec but also on Nikki. And once that happens, then we'll be able to get that Amber Alert out.
How the hell do you show your face in front of a judge knowing the condition you left your children in?
That is a really good question. How could you think for 1 second that a judge would look at the medical records and say, oh, yes, clearly you're fit to be a parent? And Alec, not only is he a child, but he is a child with special needs. So he has not only the typical behaviors of a small child, but he has some additional behaviors that go with autism. And it takes a lot of time and a lot of attention to make sure that his needs are being met and that he is safe. He is a huge elopement risk, which means that every room in my house has locks, just to make sure that he doesn't wander off one day.
Oh, I get it. There's a little boy in our state, in Oklahoma, and he's autistic, and he got out of the house and he drowned.
Yes.
So you can't be careful enough.
No, and actually that is a huge fear that I have. So Alec is enrolled to take swimming program in Houston this summer that's specifically designed for children with autism, because autism and dementia, Alzheimer's disease, when they wander and get lost for whatever reason, they tend to go toward water.
That's what happened to this boy in Eufaula,
Yes.
Oklahoma.
It happened also to another boy with autism here in the Houston area just a few months ago. He lived in an apartment complex, wandered out, and ended up in the pool.
Yep. And social media was dragging that mother so bad, and I was furious about that. Furious,
right?
That they were doing that.
You cannot do that. When it comes to autism, the elopement risk to an autistic child is insane. Alec has eloped from my house twice. One time he managed to activate the garage door when I had a playroom set up out there, which I thought was out of his reach. Luckily, my dog notified me, and I was making dinner, so I didn't hear the garage door go up, but my dog went crazy, and I went out to see what was going on, and the door was open, and he was halfway down the drive. Well, thank God for dogs. Of course, he was, as many autistic children are, he was buck naked and picking up speed and giggling like a crazy man. But that's when I realized that all the doors in my home were going to have to be locked with locks that were well out of his reach, because he thinks it's hilarious. He's not aware of the danger. So meanwhile, there I am, a chubby middle-aged woman chasing a naked, giggling kid down the road. I can't even imagine what the neighbors were thinking.
Well, I mean, you're doing the work. You're raising children. Children are not pets.
No, they have their own set of needs that has to be met.
Pebbles has a question. Do you think they can GPS the person location by phone? I know you've given over all the phone numbers that they have had at one time.
Right. The problem is Tony and Bill have both been cyber criminals for more than 30 years. They tend to switch phone numbers monthly, and we are not sure about Robin. We know that she has not been back on her TikTok since Nicky was taken. So initially, when the police were being some help, the first night they were not successful in that attempt.
All right, we're just going to keep on keeping on.
That's all we can do at this point.
Alec needs his brother home. You need your grandson home. Your children need their nephew home. Pebble says, does she have a Facebook or IG? Yeah, she uses her Facebook, Tally Adams.
Wow, guys, you guys are so awesome. We've already raised the GoFundMe up about $400 in the last couple minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And thank you.
It was at $860, I believe I had said, and now it's at $1220.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you guys so much for your generous donations to help Tally out.
Absolutely, and that's just the beginning. We're just going to keep on keeping on, and I appreciate Tally coming up. I appreciate Sleuth Mom coming up. You guys sub her channel. We have new people in here, so please sub, this channel. And I'm going to start closing this down.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Brooks, for having me on. Tally, thank you for your time again. Guys, please show her some love and support if you came from my chat. We're going to be working together a lot in the future, I have a feeling. I appreciate you having me on, Brooks. Have a good day.
Absolutely. Sleuth Mom is awesome, guys. She is awesome. And Tally, I don't know how you're keeping it together and how you're keeping everything up, but you are a warrior, my friend. You are.
Thank you.
Yep. I love that hashtag, Tally Strong. Let's hashtag that. We will keep you guys updated. Anything that happens with Nicky, we will definitely do a live. Everyone knows I'm very technically challenged. I can't do videos, so we will do a live. Anything that happens, we will be live. Right, Tally?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So I want to thank everybody that came in here to support Tally and the search for Nicky, Sleuth Mom. We have the best chat on YouTube. We have the best community, the best mods, and I've got 2 shows tomorrow, guys. So go over to Crime Lines and Lies and make sure you're subbed up and you hit the reminder. We have a lot of stuff to talk about, okay? I love it. Be Tally strong. There you go. So thank you all. Nicky is safe and found soon. Yep. On that note, I'm going to shut this down, Tally.
Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, Tally.